Welcome back to Demolition Worker, where we dismantle the most massive machines on Earth. Today, we face an incredible amphibious monster. Behold the legendary Beriev aircraft, a Russian-powered seaplane that once conquered raging oceans and now rests on this quiet beach. This magnificent flying boat spent its entire operational life battling saltwater environments, fighting extreme conditions to perform vital maritime rescue missions. Because of constant saltwater exposure, the entire hull is covered in highly toxic chemical protective layers that require extremely careful handling. Our demolition process begins by carefully transporting this massive aircraft into a specially designed containment tank to neutralize all dangerous chemicals. We must submerge the lower fuselage into this massive chemical bath to safely neutralize the accumulated acids and dangerous mineral salts. Watch as the specialized solution vigorously bubbles, breaking down decades of toxic protective coatings and ocean salt baked into the metal. Our highly trained hazardous materials team carefully monitors the chemical reactions, ensuring that absolutely no toxic residue escapes into the environment. After several hours of intense chemical scrubbing, the massive containment tank drains completely, revealing the bare metal skeleton of the beast. Now that the hazardous chemical threat is completely neutralized, we can finally unleash the raw mechanical power of our heavy machinery. We begin the structural teardown by focusing our attention on the most unique feature of this aircraft, the top-mounted engines. These massive engines were specifically mounted high above the wings to prevent dangerous saltwater from entering the intakes during ocean landings. Our specialized magnetic excavator carefully locks onto the heavy steel casing, preparing to rip the powerful turbine from its sturdy mount. With a deafening crack, the immense hydraulic pressure snaps the reinforced mounting bolts, tearing the heavy jet engine from the wing. The heavy turbine dangles helplessly in the air, completely separated from the massive amphibious beast that it once powered through storms. We drop the massive engine assembly into our designated scrap zone, where it will be further dismantled for valuable aerospace alloys. Without wasting a single moment, our skilled operator swings the heavy mechanical arm back to claim the second massive jet engine. Thick aerospace aluminum groans and twists under the immense pulling force before the second engine violently detaches from the main wing. With both powerful engines successfully removed, the once mighty amphibious monster suddenly looks incredibly vulnerable, sitting alone on the quiet beach. The real destruction begins now as we bring in our heaviest tracked excavator, equipped with a massive pair of hydraulic shears. These incredible hydraulic jaws bite directly into the outer wing structure, slicing through the thick aerospace aluminum like it is paper. The powerful steel blades easily crush the internal structural ribs, exposing a complex network of ancient wiring and empty fuel lines. A massive section of the wing completely tears away, crashing heavily onto the soft sand and shaking the ground beneath us. Our operator systematically chops the remaining wing structure into smaller, easily manageable chunks that can be quickly loaded into transport trucks. The surrounding beach is quickly becoming a massive graveyard of jagged aerospace aluminum, completely surrounding the towering central fuselage structure today. We shift our destructive focus to the towering tail section, grabbing the vertical stabilizer and ripping it down without any hesitation. A thick cloud of dust erupts as the heavy tail structure violently collapses, revealing the dark, hollow interior of the fuselage. The giant hydraulic machine slowly rolls toward the front of the aircraft, raising its heavy steel jaws directly above the cockpit. With a sudden downward strike, the heavy shears shatter the reinforced cockpit glass, completely destroying the pilot seats in an instant. The complex instrument panel is ruthlessly mangled by the crushing steel blades, sending broken dials and shattered screens flying everywhere around. Our heavy machine effortlessly rips the entire nose cone away from the fuselage, exposing the ancient weather radar equipment inside it. We systematically peel back the upper half of the main fuselage, tearing the metal skin exactly like a giant tin can. Cold sunlight finally streams into the exposed interior cabin, illuminating the long rows of empty passenger seats, waiting for absolute destruction. The massive hydraulic jaws reach deep into the vulnerable cabin, grabbing multiple seats at once and violently ripping them straight out. A massive pile of mangled seats and broken interior paneling quickly grows beside a ruined aircraft as the rapid stripping continues. We tear down the remaining upper walls of the aircraft, leaving nothing but the incredibly massive and heavily reinforced lower hull. This unique belly hull was specifically engineered with incredibly thick armor to withstand the brutal, punishing impact of heavy ocean waves. Our powerful hydraulic shears attempt to bite into the thick belly structure, but the incredibly tough marine-grade steel fiercely resists. You can actually see the massive hydraulic pistons vibrating under extreme pressure as the machine struggles to penetrate the reinforced armor. Our highly experienced operator carefully adjusts the cutting angle, searching for a vulnerable seam in the heavy plates to gain leverage. The heavy steel blades finally bite down hard on the structural seam, violently puncturing the thick hull with a massive crunch. A massive, jagged tear violently rips open the belly of the beast, revealing the incredibly dense internal bracing required for survival. The giant excavator uses its immense physical weight to press down heavily, forcing the incredibly stubborn hull structure toward the sand. The deafening sound of tearing steel completely dominates the quiet beach as a huge section of the reinforced belly breaks free. This incredible scene of heavy mechanical destruction playing out against the backdrop of crashing ocean waves feels both brutal and majestic. The powerful shears continue chopping the thick lower hull into smaller segments, with every single bite demanding absolute maximum hydraulic power. A massive titanium joint from the heavy water landing gear is mercilessly crushed, violently snapping apart with an explosion of sparks. Our massive machine lifts a tremendously heavy chunk of the armored hull high into the sky before dropping it back down. The brutal impact of the heavy metal violently shakes the sandy ground, immediately sending a massive shockwave of dust rolling outward. Ground workers now step in with incredibly hot cutting torches to slice through the thickest structural beams holding the massive frame. Bright orange sparks shower down exactly like heavy rain as our skilled worker slices directly through the massive central keel beam. The massive central keel beam finally collapses completely, splitting the remaining armored lower hull into two distinct, easily manageable scrap halves. Our heavy hydraulic shears quickly return to action, aggressively grabbing the left hull section and dragging it toward the waiting trucks. The powerful steel jaws bite down repeatedly, forcefully folding the incredibly thick metal plates together to make them compact for transport. We quickly switch to a giant claw attachment, efficiently scooping up massive piles of jagged aluminum debris scattered across the sand. The heavy mechanical claw drops the tangled metal debris directly into a massive industrial dump truck, kicking up a thick dust. We immediately target the right half of the hull, effortlessly tearing through the remaining watertight bulkheads that once protected the crew. Watch this heavily rusted watertight door get completely crushed, its heavy locking mechanisms violently popping off under the immense hydraulic pressure. The powerful excavator relentlessly crushes the final section of the belly hull into a tight, completely unrecognizable cube of twisted metal. The massive amphibious monster that once proudly dominated this entire beach has now been completely reduced to mere piles of scrap. Our dedicated cleanup crew uses large industrial magnets to carefully sweep the sandy beach for any remaining sharp and dangerous fragments. The powerful sweeping magnet effortlessly pulls hundreds of tiny rusted screws, sharp bolts, and jagged metal shards directly from the sand. A heavy loader machine quickly scoops up all the remaining non-metallic debris, including shattered passenger seats and broken interior panels. A long convoy of massive industrial scrap trucks lines up perfectly, fully loaded with the heavy remains of the legendary seaplane. The first heavy truck slowly rolls away, its powerful diesel engine roaring loudly as it transports tons of valuable aerospace aluminum. We follow this massive convoy as it leaves the quiet beach, heading directly toward the advanced recycling facility for final processing. Inside the massive recycling facility, an incredibly powerful industrial shredder violently grinds the large airplane chunks into thousands of tiny chips. The razor-sharp, rapidly spinning teeth of the massive shredder violently rip through the incredibly tough marine steel without any hesitation. A long industrial conveyor belt carries the freshly shredded aerospace aluminum away, the clean metal shining brightly beneath harsh factory lights. The shredded metal is finally dumped into a glowing hot smelting furnace, instantly melting down into a bright pool of liquid. This glowing liquid aluminum is carefully poured into brand new molds, completely transforming the destroyed aircraft into valuable raw industrial materials. Back at the quiet beach, a beautiful sunset slowly approaches with gentle ocean waves quietly washing over the newly cleared sand. A solitary seagull peacefully lands on the exact spot where the massive machine was destroyed, beautifully symbolizing a return to nature. Looking back at this incredible demolition, we witnessed the absolute raw power required to tear apart such a heavily armored machine. Our mighty hydraulic excavator now rests peacefully on a nearby hill, proudly overlooking the ocean after completing another incredibly demanding job. Our highly skilled operator finally climbs out of the heavy machine, exhausted but incredibly proud of safely completing this massive demolition. The heavy steel jaws are now heavily scratched and battered, bearing the proud scars of a brutal battle against marine steel. The dedicated demolition crew gathers their heavy equipment together, slowly packing up their tools as quiet dusk settles over the beach. The massive chemical containment tank is carefully loaded onto a specialized transport truck, securely sealed to absolutely prevent any toxic leaks. The specialized hazardous waste transport truck safely drives away, its bright yellow warning lights flashing brightly against the darkening coastal road. We conduct one final meticulous sweep of the entire beach using powerful floodlights, ensuring absolutely zero dangerous debris is left behind. The sandy beach is now perfectly clean and completely restored, looking as if the massive amphibious monster had never existed here. Gentle ocean waves continue their eternal rhythm, washing a small piece of beautiful sea glass onto the newly cleared sandy shore. Bright stars slowly begin to appear in the vast night sky, while all harsh industrial noise is replaced by soothing waves. Our heavy machinery convoy travels down a long-distant highway, their bright headlights piercing the dark night as they head home. Inside the comfortable cabin of the lead transport truck, our dedicated driver remains completely focused on delivering the heavy scrap metal. This incredible time lapse beautifully captures the peaceful night sky over the empty beach, proving that nature always reclaims its territory. A beautiful dawn breaks over the industrial recycling plant, where the melted aerospace aluminum has finally cooled into solid, valuable ingots. Dedicated factory workers carefully load massive stacks of shiny new aluminum ingots onto a heavy freight train for immediate global distribution. The massive freight train blows its loud horn, slowly pulling away from the facility with thousands of tons of recycled metal. We have witnessed the incredible journey of this metal from a rusted amphibious beast to completely pure materials ready for reuse. Back at our main Demolition Worker headquarters, our massive machines are carefully parked, thoroughly cleaned, and prepared for their next mission. Our skilled mechanics perform essential maintenance on the heavy hydraulic shears, replacing the battered steel blades with fresh, razor-sharp ones. We unroll a massive blueprint revealing our highly anticipated next target, an even larger industrial machine waiting for absolute total destruction. Our lead operator studies the complex blueprint carefully, nodding with a confident smile, absolutely ready to face the next impossible challenge. The mighty excavator powers up once again, its bright lights piercing the darkness, completely ready to conquer another massive steel giant. Thank you for watching Demolition Worker. Subscribe now to join our crew and never miss another incredible episode of extreme destruction.